Hello.
Hello, everybody.
We're back again.
Nice
Ooh.
to see you, even though we can't.
Well, we're getting off to a great start there. Hey, if you did watch the last episode of our story, you may remember, may not. You're forgiven if you don't. But you may remember at the end of it, we said there was something, an idea that I had that Arnold didn't need time to process it. We both agreed, yes, what a great idea.
It was a good one.
Today, it will all be revealed in this episode. So, when you're suitably excited, we'll start. Arnold.
Thank you, Pamela.
It was a pleasure, sir. We're getting awfully polite with each other.
On our Preston blank canvas, where would we start? To create something when nothing was there. We faced our future with so much that was new, needing lots of God's help and care. New neighbours, new culture, new school, new church, and a brand new work to be done. So we had to start somewhere, and as often the case, the best place to begin is at home. We had to earn the respect of our neighbours before starting a good news club in our home. Parents welcomed our love for their children, and so many allowed them to come.
Oh, and would you? Oh, did I come in the middle of
You
a
did.
verse? I'm sorry,
It's all
Arnold.
right.
I can hear our chairs squeaking a bit. I'll just move this one. Excuse us. It's all kind of live. We do record it as live, but when we do little ideas like what we had last time and this time, we need to edit to put something in there that isn't here right now with us. So understand, but we do it live. If you get rid of my drift. Sorry, Arnold, would you like to start that last verse again?
Well, it's just another verse before.
Oh, is it really?
One mum and dad
Oh, yeah.
stood out from the rest. Mark and Carole, who are still friends today, sent Laura, Julie, and Ruth to our club, a lovely family, completed by Faye.
Cue me. Would you like to meet one of those children that first came across the door of our home for a good news club? That's who we are going to reveal to you right now. We have managed to catch up with one of them, and her name is Julie, not our daughter Julie, but Julie Naylor. That's her name. And I managed to catch up with her. And so I had to go to our outside broadcasting station to interview Julie. So here it is. I hope you enjoy this. Well, hello, folks. Look who I've got here. It's Julie, one of our first children to come to Good News Club in this house. Thank you for coming, Julie.
Thank
you. To our outside broadcasting station, which is actually in the back room in our house, but who would have known? Well, this is a first for us doing this, and it's so good, Julie. Thank you so much for agreeing to this.
Thank you, Pam.
You didn't even hesitate.
Do you know why? Because I feel like I am on. I feel like I'm a guest person on my favourite show. I really do. That's how I feel.
Oh, you're so kind.
It's brilliant.
She's easily amused, isn't she, folks? Okay, so it's really good to catch up. And yeah, I had a while trying to find you. It was like a long lost family episode, really, trying to find where you'd got to these days after all these years. But anyway, we'll maybe cover that later. Could you tell me a wee bit, Julie, about your family background?
Yes, I will do. So my family is, or I keep wanting to say is. They're still here. We still have this.
Yes.
I'm from quite a big family. There's 4 of us, 4 girls, and my mum and my dad, and all our animals. We are lots and lots of animals that we had at varying stages of our time living in the house. So yeah, that's us. And my poor dad, when I think back,
No.
4 of us, and him.
He survived very well, though, Julie, it has to be said.
He did. He did.
But like Arnold in our house, and all our pets were females as well.
Same. Ours were too.
Isn't that good? I wonder who influenced all of that. What's the kind of vibe in your family home, would you say?
It was really, when I remember back to living in the house with my parents and my sisters, we were a really close family, which is a really good thing.
Mhm.
We were very loving
Yeah.
towards one another, and
Yeah, that came across.
yeah,
Definitely.
and parents, and
Mhm.
yeah, very loving, very close family.
Very good.
And that's really lucky. We're really lucky
Yeah.
when I say that out loud to have that, aren't
Yeah, seriously.
we? Mm.
Well, I was going to say especially these days, but maybe it's more public these days, you know, what goes on behind closed doors.
Mm.
So we certainly saw that in the neighbourhood.
Mm.
And it must have been very weird for you, us arriving in here, this Irish family that do things a wee bit different. So a wee bit different. And you did have a church background, whereas a lot of the kids we knew in England didn't have any church background. So do you want to tell us a wee bit about yours?
Yeah, so my church background, my parents decided to bring us up, me and my sisters, as Catholic in the Catholic Church. My dad isn't that religion. He was Church of England, but Mum is, and it's a very quite devout Catholic. And it was really important to her, and they wanted us to have a faith background for the lessons and the you know, those kind of things that you learn about your fellow humans in the world, I think. So yeah, it was a big part of our life.
Yeah, and that was a big decision for your mum and dad to make. Sometimes that can make or break a marriage. But,
Yes.
oh, you know, the arguments start. So that's really good. Great. So so you were brought up a Roman Catholic, and that was in St. Gerard's Church just down the road here.
Yes.
Any memories of St. Gerard's at that time for you as a child?
Yes, yeah. I remember my church background being something that I sounds awful to say this, kind of had to do, and it wasn't something that was particularly jovial.
Right. Okay.
I remember having to kind of sit and remember things, to recite things, and to remember to say things in the right place, and it was very solemn.
Oops. Saying things in the right place.
Yes.
Well, I think you and I know very well that we're not often the best at that. In fact, today we are likely to go off piste a wee bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because Arna's not here to keep us straight. We're free from restrictions. Well, we did set some questions, so I'll try and stick to those, Julie.
Okay.
We'll try. Anyway, because folks do want to hear about you.
Yeah.
I know that.
But it was extra difficult for me, Pam, being as I am.
Yes, I can
to
imagine.
not speak.
Yeah.
And then to speak only in certain places.
And to say the right things.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a wee bit difficult. And then along comes Good News Club in your area, which your mum and dad kindly let you come to. So there was you and Laura and Ruth at that time who came to Good News Club. Faye was just a wee baby.
Yeah.
So it was you three that came. Any memories from Good News Club? Saying the right things in the right place?
See, that was the Good News Club for me was the opposite of what I was used to.
Ah, yeah.
It was very fun. It was laughing.
Okay.
It was singing. It was dancing. It was really a lot. It felt a lot more free.
Yes. Okay.
That's how it felt.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. That's good to know, Julie.
It really did.
It's those kind of memories that we, I would say we wanted to instill in children, you know, no matter what their family background was like, you know, that learning about God can be fun.
Yes.
He's a fun, loving God. Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go.
And I remember there being the lessons in there, Pam. I do. I remember there being the lessons of, you know, to think about your fellow, to think about other people,
yes,
and to love one another and to be respectful and be kind. But it was fun.
Yeah, yeah. Very good.
within that.
Yeah. So, what would you say are any values from Good News Club that you've carried into life and through life so far?
It's interesting. I was thinking about this because empathy is definitely one of them.
Okay.
Compassion
Right.
for others
Right. Brilliant.
and for self.
Yes. Important.
That's an important one,
Yeah.
for others and for self.
Mhm.
And just kind of treating people as you would like to be treated. And interestingly, my little boy at the moment, he asked me the other day, what does it mean to never judge a book by its cover? What does that mean, Mummy?
What a good question.
So I had to try and explain it to him, which I did. Well, I tried. And
Sure you
then
did.
I was thinking about Good News Club, and I thought, that's something we learned in
Oh,
Good News Club, to never judge a book by its cover.
brilliant. I love that because judging others is it's just not on, folks. Sure, it's not. No, it's not. We have no right to judge anybody else. I mean, I do believe, Julie, that God is the only judge who has it right.
Yes.
We can never be fully right, but God is right. And you mentioned love as well, Julie. And we can't love, I don't believe, we can't love without God, because the Bible says God is love. So when we love others, it's got to be like God. Yay.
Yes.
It's good, that, isn't it?
Yes.
That's my wee thought for today.
Yes. That's an excellent thought, Pam.
Oh, you appreciate that? That's
yes.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you do. So brilliant then. And now, well, how just did I catch up with you? Where are you these days? Tell us a bit about that.
It was, Pam, your effort was outstanding that you actually put in to find me.
Yeah.
All those steps away across the street.
Oh, yes. It was an effort.
Yes. So I'm now living in the house that I grew up in.
Yeah.
So we bought that house from my parents.
Brilliant. And so you and Pete live there with your two gorgeous boys. Oh, we'll get her talking about the boys. I tell you, folks, when I see Julie with her boys and her dog, Summer, love just exudes. And there's a real sense of righteousness. It's that the boys know that you will then teach them the stuff that you have learned through life. It's like they look very secure in that. The fact that even one of them asked you, what does it mean to judge a book by its cover? Mum has the answers and she'll give us the answer that we'll then live by. I think that's so good. I mean, yeah, we really shape our kids, don't we? Especially at those early ages.
Thank you, Pam. I really hope so. I try to do that in the most loving way that I can.
Oh, Julie, you're always positive. No matter what negative situation seems to be, Julie will bring out the positive. In fact, I'm going to grass on you now. Do you know what she did just this afternoon? We had something in our street that just does not happen very often. I haven't heard this for years, but there was an argument out in our street, and it wasn't Julie.
No.
And it wasn't Peter. No, and it wasn't us. So we thought, well, what's going on? Well, it turns out Julie was there de-escalating the tension between a couple of angry men. We'll not go into any details there, but that is Julie through and through. Let's not argue about this, folks. Let's just calm down and relax. Road rage was turbulent in the air.
It was, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So let's get back to God. What would you say? How would you describe? I know this is really hard, but how would you describe your view of God?
It is so hard, and I say that purely because, and it ties in with what you just said there, actually, Pam.
Okay.
When we're taught things, I think from a very, very young age, those ideas kind of stick to us, and however much we can feel ourselves thinking of other things or different considerations, I don't know about you, but I still come back to that which I was taught. So
yes, very good.
So I have a vision of God as a white man,
right,
which when you think back now is ludicrous, really.
I wonder where you were going there, Julie.
Yeah, but I have a vision, or I was taught or shown images of this white
yes, of
man
course, yeah.
who actually, in all honesty, was quite condemning.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, almost made me feel fearful
Okay.
of somehow upsetting this man who,
Okay.
you know, was kind of the person and the thing that we were worshipping.
And what about now?
Well, now my
Mm.
view is very different,
Oh.
which I'm very pleased about. And I considered this as I was growing up. I used to think, why is this man who is love, as you
Yes,
just said, Pammy,
yeah.
so condemning of other people and
Mm.
things and situations? So now my view of God now is an ever-present, all-encompassing love
Wow.
that I would call, I would kind of see that as divine source energy.
Brilliant. I love
yeah.
that. Yes.
Mm.
That is brilliant. And I would say, Julie, you don't keep that to yourself with your boys. We've covered that, haven't we? You know,
Yeah.
you do shape the boys in that way as well.
Mm.
And brilliant. Thanks very much. Now, in case you hadn't guessed, folks, Julie's actually a counsellor. Wouldn't you know, the way she just talks about compassion and the way she talks about people? And yeah, Julie, and but you were a teacher first, actually, weren't you?
Yeah.
Great.
Mm.
And I know that you've said in the past the same values that you were taught at home. You heard some of those at Good News Club,
Mm.
and that really helped you because it's not just mum and dad's queerness.
Yes. Yes.
But
that
there
was
are
a big
others,
part,
yeah.
Pam. That was a big
Mm.
part, because sometimes when you're growing up, you can think it's just your family that are like that, or it's just your family that say those things or
Yeah.
do those things,
Yeah.
because you don't see that in other places. But for me, when I saw those same values outside of my immediate family,
Yeah.
it was brilliant, because I thought,
Good.
yeah,
yeah, that's great.
yes.
So we weren't going against
No. Oh, no.
what you were taught as a family, rather
Absolutely.
enhancing it.
Yes.
Brilliant. I think we better leave it there, because
Mm.
otherwise we'll be taking over YouTube at this rate. We could start a little a duo thing. What could we call it? Oh, we'll have to think on that
Pam,
one.
yeah.
So I think we better end there. And thank you again very much. And I can't wait for others to see your interview.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, so do we.
I really do.
Great. So there you go, folks. We've managed it without Arnold here to check it. We have actually covered the questions and a little bit more, but sure, there you go. Okay, so we'll end this now, folks, and bye for now.
Well, what a woman she is.
Amazing.
She did a great job there, didn't she, as well? Because these children do grow up into women, don't they, or men? That's the way it goes, folk, in life, it seems. So we had a great time, as you might have picked up there, and we do hope you enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So back to you, Arnold. I'll try not to interrupt you at the wrong time.
That's
this
okay.
time.
You're forgiven.
Thank you.
Now, Julie is living in her childhood home, as you just heard, with Pete and AJ and Fletch, their boys. Mark and Carole have moved just a short distance away, so their grandsons still give them much joy. To see Julie grow to be such a good mum, great teacher, wise counsellor, and friend is a blessing and a joy to Pam and myself, and a friendship we know that won't end. The new school meant Sharon missing a year, but she and Julie settled very well. Mr. Lane, the head teacher, made them feel at home, and that school still makes our hearts swell.
Yeah.
Julie's strong, it was, Belfast accent was
There's
gone.
my wee daddy, she used to say.
Was gone in 6 months, sounding now like a Lancashire lass. Sharon was older, so hers took more time, and her accent stood out in her class. The girls never struggled in making good friends, but in high school, their strong faith was rare. Though they faced skepticism from some pupils and staff, they neither failed their faith in Jesus to share. The next summer, we held our first 5-day club on a green at the end of our street. Helped by summer missionaries who came to stay, the kids who came thought it was such a treat. Yet some parents objected to us being there, not liking the lessons we taught. So one day the police arrived at our house, and poor Julie was really distraught.
Whoa. And that's one vivid memory that our Julie has of those days when we first came over. The police coming to our door, and we were in the middle of tea. So we were in the back here having our tea as a family. The police arrived at the door. Arnold went to talk to them, and poor Julie, her memory is really trying not to cry and still eating up her tea. It was so tough. I'm glad I stayed with them that day and didn't go and talk to the police as well. So Arnold, it all got cleared up okay, didn't it?
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, my memory of it isn't brilliant, but it is a long time ago. But yeah, we got it sorted.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yep. And we're allowed to continue.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Brill.
We were learning fast that we had to adapt to a new culture, not the one we had known. For the freedoms we'd taken for granted till then, we could no longer claim as our own. An Englishman's home is his castle, we learned. So our focus shifted from good news clubs. We managed to establish a few that first year, but realized schools should be our hub. Our new church, CCF, Calvary Christian Fellowship, supported us well, but its policy was to reach families. This meant unattached children couldn't attend, the very ones we wanted to see. As they couldn't come, we would go to them, and the place to find them was in schools. So, starting in the one our girls had joined, we began a journey of learning new rules.
Eek. What was God up to? I didn't like school. I really did not enjoy school, the work side of it. The social side, okay. But all those rules and all that work. And I remember as a child seeing a sign. It was actually at my Sunday school teacher's home when we all went round to recite John chapter 14. And I got an Alexander hymn book, number 3 for
Wow.
that. Yeah, for being able to recite 31 verses without a mistake.
Ooh,
I can do
impressive.
quite a bit now, but I couldn't do that now, this age. But anyway, I digress once more. She had a little sign, wooden plaque thing. School days are the happiest days. You must be joking. I certainly did not agree with that for my life anyway. So, and then God was directing us to go back into schools, back into the rules, back into behaving. Well, we'll see.
That was a challenge.
We'll see how we got on with that the next time. So that's all for now, folks. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, and see you next time.
Yeah, please do feel free to subscribe, and even comment underneath, because we get
Yeah.
lots of private comments, but I'm sure others would like to read your comments as well if you put them on
That
the
would be
YouTube.
great.
Yeah, wouldn't it? And we always put the poem that's associated with the story underneath in the description of the YouTube video. So that really is all for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.